Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Gadigal people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello, faithful Squiz Kids listeners, and welcome to our very first Friday edition of the Kids vs. Adults Weekly News Quiz. Your chance to see who's had their listening ears on and been paying the most attention to the week that just was. I'm Bryce Corbett. Now, all week in the Squiz Kids Today podcast, we've been bringing you the big news stories of the day, run through our kid-friendly filter to make sure you know all you need to know about the world around you. Now, it's time to test how much of the week's news you've retained, and in the process, see who's smarter, kids or adults. Plus, of course, because it's a Friday, we've got all today's birthday shout-outs and all the shout-outs for the weekend ahead, including the birthday reggae tune, because it wouldn't be a Friday without it. So, here's how the quiz works. 5 questions for kids about the weekend news, then 5 questions for adults. Whoever answers the most correct questions wins. Simples. You ready? Let's do this. All right, kids, here are your 5 questions. Question number 1. Let's start the term with an easy one. Which US singer-songwriter, whose last name rhymes with thrift, broke the internet again last weekend with the re-release of one of her old albums? Yes, that's right, I'm talking about Taylor Swift. Question number 2. Aussie Daniel Ricciardo is making a return to which sport next week in Hungary? Yes, of course, it's Formula 1. Question number 3. We heard in the Daily News podcast this week how the endangered broad-toothed rat had been found living in Melbourne's Healesville Sanctuary. What did the discoverer find that helped them identify the rat? Well done if you said bright green poos, because that's what the broad-toothed rat does. Question number 4. There was much excitement at the US space agency NASA this week when the helicopter from the planetary rover Perseverance sent back a signal to say it was okay after a 63-day silence. What neighbouring planet is the Perseverance rover on? Yeah, that's right, it's on planet Mars. Question number 5. Yesterday in the podcast, Squizzy the Newshound sniffed out a fake warning on the internet this week, claiming to be from the United States Forest Service, alerting campers to which mythical creature coming down from the high country to feed on fish and vegetation at a river's edge in Arizona. Yeah, well done if you said Bigfoot. How did you go, kids? How many did you get right out of 5? You reckon you're going to beat the adults? Yep, I reckon so too. Okay, adults, now it's your turn. Fire up the grey matter. Here we go. Question number 1. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is attending the meeting of world leaders that is the NATO summit this week. Which European country is hosting the summit for the first time this year? Yes, that's right, it's Lithuania. Question number 2. On Tuesday, the United Nations Weather Agency announced that the world is now experiencing which periodic weather event that means a hot, dry summer is on the way for Australia? Yeah, that's right, it's the El Niño. Question number 3. Which major announcement that so many of us adults have been listening out for will no longer occur on the first Tuesday of each month? Yeah, congratulations if you said the Reserve Bank's decision on interest rates. Question number 4, now to sport. Although I'm not entirely sure I want to ask this one. What was the score in the third and final State of Origin game held earlier this week? Yeah, congrats if you said New South Wales 24, Queensland 10. Although I should point out that Queensland did win the series. Question number 5, and to finish up, Here's one that we're very excited about. Which global sporting spectacular, jointly hosted by Australia and New Zealand, kicks off next week? Yeah, it's the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. And if you want to find out more about the history of women in football and about the World Cup in general, we've got a great shortcut to women's football, which will be in your ears this coming Tuesday. And it's a cracker. How did you go, adults? How many did you get right? Did you beat the kids? Who won bragging rights this week? Now remember, if you've missed any of these cool news stories throughout the week and you want to refresh your memory, all of this week's Squiz Kids episodes are available for a re-listen wherever you get your podcasts. So, that's the end of the quiz, which means it's now time for...
Shout-outs.
It's Friday, July 14, Bastille Day today in France, which is the national day there, celebrating the storming of the Bastille and the start of the French Revolution. Oh la la! It's also a Friday, and you know what that means. Heaps of birthday shout-outs for today and the coming weekend, for which I reckon we ought to crack out the old birthday reggae tune. Hit it! And it's a happy birthday today to Jada from Foster, Lara from 17 Mile Rocks, Emily from Stanmore, Josephine from Orange, Sydney from Bulli, and Millie from Woodford. And belated birthday shout-outs go to the following kids, and still include some of you who celebrated a birthday during the recent school holidays. Callie from Spring Mountain, Wally from Echuca, Jeff from Golgong, Alice from Parramatta, Matthias from Woongarra, Yesakori from Ellenbrook, Kira from Oran Park, Ethan from Tamworth, Indiana from Moama, Alfie from Northmead, Mitchell from Womberall, and Niet and Nadja from Dulwich Hill. Not forgetting, of course, all of the Squiz Kids celebrating a birthday over this coming weekend. Happy birthday to Ada from Oak Park, Summer from Pitt-Town, Banjo from Freshwater, Ella from Warrack Nabil, Vihan from Carlingford, Peyton from Maroubra, Elijah from Mount Gravatt, Indy from Cannon Hill, Jessie from Flagstaff Hill, Heidi from Exeter, Octavia from Lavington, and Lachlan from Holsworthy. Well, my friends, that's all we have time for. Hope you're enjoying these quizzes. Don't forget there'll be a new one dropping first thing every Friday morning, and the best bit, they're absolutely free. Just as all our other excellent content is available for free too. We're talking a Squiz Kids Today news podcast on Mondays, Wednesdays and Thursdays. A Squiz Kids shortcut or a Squiz the World every Tuesday. And for all the teachers out there, there's the Classroom Companion. Our teacher-produced daily classroom activity sheets, curriculum aligned and tied to the Daily Pod twice a week, now on Mondays and Wednesdays. Genius. Check it all out at squizkids.com.au or simply subscribe to Squiz Kids in your favourite podcasting app and all the audio content will appear magically. For now though, this is Bryce Corbett signing off and reminding you to get out there and have a most excellent weekend. Over and out.